Hey, good morning, friends. Pastor Jason here with our Saturday check-in. It's a little crisp and cool this morning. Looks like it's going to be kind of nice and sunny. Those who are able to get outside, get some fresh air today, I encourage you to go and do that. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Just a couple of reminders and some updates about tomorrow. Um, we are taking the advice and heeding the advice and the recommendations of our local doctors and our local hospitals and health officials, and we are going back to online only service for tomorrow. We will be streaming though at 9:30 and 11. So you can see the traditional service from the sanctuary at 9:30 a.m. on Facebook Live, and then later on YouTube as well. In the contemporary service, our Connect worship will come at 11 a.m. We'll record that in the Family Life Center. That'll also be on Facebook Live, and then we'll put that on YouTube as well. So 2 live online service options tomorrow as we go back to being online. I'm going to kick off our Advent series. Yes, Advent starts tomorrow, friends, and Pastor Angie and I are going to be using a book released by Adam Hamilton this year called Incarnation. Perfectly fitting to kind of guide our thoughts on Advent, as that's what it's all about. You know, God comes to earth incarnate, in the flesh. Like, God comes, puts on the flesh to demonstrate, model, teach, to save and redeem, and all of that stuff. So if you want to get a copy of that book and follow along with us, you're welcome to do so. You do not need to, though. I know our small group is. You can find it on Amazon. You can probably get a hold of us up at the church office next week as well. If you're a member of the Cincinnati Public Library, and if you're up with technology there, the Hoopla app that the library uses has Incarnation available as a free borrow through the Hoopla app as well, if you would like to get that and follow along. I'm going to share for us briefly here this morning. One of the readings from my Bible in a year plan comes from 2 Peter. I think just a good word for us, a good reminder for us in this day, this season, this year. So the words of Peter here from 2 Peter chapter 3, starting at verse 8. But do not ignore this one fact, beloved, that with the Lord 1 day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like 1 day. The Lord is not slow about his promises, as some think of slowness, but is patient with you, not wanting any to perish, but all to come to repentance. I think we've been patient for many months now. We're going to continue to try to be patient, and it's tough, but I think there's a little kernel in there in what Peter shares. It's, you know, God's idea of time, God's concept of time is not ours. So I think the question that this leans itself to is, what do we do while we're waiting for God? What do we do while we're waiting for things to change? In the devotional I read this morning, the question was, what do we do as we wait for God to do what he promised to do? We're promised healing, we're promised restoration, we're promised salvation. So what do we do while we wait for that to happen? And during this Advent season, I think it's wildly appropriate and a great practice, and something that we can really kind of clutch onto, that what we do, friends, is we are the light. What we do, friends, is, you know, we can come and be the incarnation in the lives of others. What do we do while we wait for God to do what he promises to do? Knowing that God takes a long-term approach, knowing that God takes the long view, knowing that God has this ever-widening circle of salvation, of growing his kingdom constantly. What do we do while we wait for God to do that? How do we live into that purpose? How do we play our part in that? Yeah. So as we think about Advent, we think about coming in to prepare. You know, we prepare for the incarnation. We prepare for, you know, God coming to earth in the person of Jesus. Okay? We know Jesus comes back again. That's what we're promised. So what do we do in between now and then? What do we do while we wait for God to do what he says he's going to do? We have a lot of options. There's lots of places where we can help and serve and love friends. Maybe it's helping your neighbors put up their lights or their decorations. It's offering to go pick up food for them right now. Calling that person who's stuck at home right now because they're sick. Writing that letter to someone who, you know, is not getting out all that much. Reaching out to somebody who you've had a falling out with recently over some difference of opinion on, you know, politics or pandemics, or hey, pick your poison, friends. What do we do while we're waiting for God to do what he's promised? We can do nothing. We can be angry, we can be bitter, we can be upset. Or we can follow kind of God's example. We can go be incarnational and go do something. Go do something that brings light, that brings life. Go do something that demonstrates who God is, who Christ is. For someone in our life, someone in our world who just may not know it. You know, for God, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. We can't do anything really to change God's concept of time. You know, God's never late. God is never early. God always does things exactly as he wants to. And if we can try to get into that rhythm, to not be rushed, to not be hurried, but to just be, and just be present, be available, to take advantage of the opportunities that we have to be light in a world of ever increasing darkness. And what better day than today? What better time than now, as we enter into this Advent season, as we start to decorate our homes, and we decorate our church later today. You know, we decorate ourselves to kind of bring that light in. You know, what does that look like for us as individuals? What does it look like for us as a church? What does that look like for us as a community to live into that? To, you know, to be that light in the flesh, to incarnate that just the way that God does through Jesus. So rambled on much longer than I had planned to this morning, friends. I apologize for that. Have a great day. Don't forget, online only tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. classic worship, 11 a.m. Connect worship. We're going to stream them both here on Facebook Live, get them up on YouTube as well. Friends, have a great day. Be safe and be well, and remember just how much that you are loved. Thanks, guys.